Good morning, all. This is Ramesh, Assistant Professor in the Department of Psychology. Today, we are going to explore a foundational topic in testing and assessment test conceptualization. Before any test like IQ test, personality assessment, and such as MMPI, 16PF, TAS 20, uh, it goes through a crucial planning stage. So today's session is about understanding the blueprint of every test, every psychological test. By the end of this session, you will clearly understand why test conceptualization is backbone of a psychological assessment. Meaning of test conceptualization. When we talk about test conceptualization, we are basically referring the planning or idea generational phase in test development. This is the stage where developer ask fundamental questions um, like what exactly I want to measure, how should this test exist, how will this test help people? For example, imagine if you want to create a test to measure academic stress of college students. Before writing any questions, clearly you must clarify what academic stress means, how it appears, and why it must be measured or assessed. So test conceptualization converts a broad problems like students are stressed into a clear assessment goals. This clarity prevents confusion later and gives a strong foundation for your questionnaire. Nature of test conceptualization. Test conceptualization is not a practical or a mechanical task. It is most theoretical, analytical, and reflective in nature. In this stage, the developer sits with books, theories, and previous research papers to understand and construct the test in depth. There are no immediate item written here. Instead, it focuses on thinking, analyzing, and defining. If this stage is rushed, the test will be lack of scientific groundings. And just like a building, a house needs a strong planning before construction. Psychological test needs more strong conceptual planning before writing an item. Importance of text conceptualization. In this stage, extreme importance because it decides accuracy, relevance, and usefulness of the final test. If the conceptualization is poor, the test may include irrelevant items. For an example, imagine measuring anxiety but adding items relevant to depressions. Then the test become confusion and misleading. A well-conceptualized test measure exactly what is intended to measure. It saves time during revision, prevents confusion, and helps to measure the test outcome or trustworthy in nature. The first step in conceptualization is identifying the construct. The psychological attribute we want to measure. It can be intelligence, aptitude, aggression, emotion, intelligence, academic motivation, social anxiety, or anything. But the challenge is that construct may overlap. For example, stress versus anxiety, motivation versus interest, IQ versus aptitude. So the developer must clearly isolate the exact construct to avoid overlap. This ensures the test remain focused and scientifically meaningful in nature. Once the construct is identified, it must be defined in clear in scientific language. The definition sets the boundary of a test. For example, if a test measures social anxiety, the definition must clearly and clarify what behavior represents social anxiety, fear of social situation, avoidant behavior, or physiological symptoms maybe, and etc. Without clear definition, item returns become guesswork. The definition function as a compass guiding the entire developmental process in the test development. A good test must never be developed blindly. It must be backed by a psychological theories. For example, intelligent test relies on theories like Spearman's G-factor theories or Gardner's multiple intelligence theories. And personality test relies on theories like big factors or psychoanalytical theories. Theoretical backing helps to explain why the construct exists. and how it develops, how it influences a behavior. The strong theoretical foundation increases the scientific credibility and um, authority of a test. Thank you all for your attention. Today we learned what is test conceptualization and how it is important in nature. Test conceptualization is not just the beginning of a test, it is the foundation of a test development. If this is done carefully, the entire test become more reliable, meaningful, and useful in nature. Thank you all.